Nobody wants to pay for this invention. I'm not going to get a patent. Hey everybody, I'm JD Houvener, owner, founder, and patent attorney. Are you thinking this? Are you questioning whether someone would actually buy your product? Well, it's actually smart to do. And I encourage every inventor that we work with to think about the end game. It's not just about getting a beautiful drawing with colorful patent claims up on the wall. It's about making money. This is a capitalistic market, and patents exist to incentivize financially those inventors that bring forward their writings and discoveries, as is in Article 1, Section 8 of the US Constitution. So let's talk a little bit more about recent day. And let me bring up 3 examples of inventors that maybe had some of this trepidation, but moved forward despite it. Jamie Siminoff with the Ring camera. This is the one that's in a lot of front doorbells right now, and you probably have one in front of yours. Before it became Ring, it was called Doorbot. I don't know if you know that. Siminoff filed patents around the video doorbell systems before mass adoption. Now, he wasn't sure if it would sell. He might be feeling a lot like how you do. And what he did is he protected it first and then tested the market. By protecting it, by filing a provisional patent application first on his video doorbell system, it allowed him to begin selling, confirming that strangers want to buy his product. And that gave him and his company confidence to file the non-provisional and a whole host of patent portfolios to follow. The market didn't believe it at first, right? But patents gave him the confidence to prove them wrong and move forward and evolve the product. Okay, example number 2. This is Sarah Daichi. This is Gerald Undun's grip equipment startup called Polar Pro. Look it up, Polar Pro. The inventor is Jeff Overall. So Jeff launched a camera accessories in an already really skeptical market. I mean, you think about like GoPro or other camera systems like that. Photographers initially doubted the premium filter, which is what it was, but protected the design by filing a provisional and then let the market decide. He then built the product very cost effectively, began to offer it for sale after protecting it. Polar Pro grew into a respected brand in the competitive niche of premium filters of cameras. So he didn't know if it would sell, but he let the market tell him. This is a big, huge golden nugget for you. Is once you get that patent pending, you can then go test the market. And that way you're not taking a huge leap of waiting 1, 2, or maybe 3 years to get the patent granted before you begin testing. You can test along the way. Get that confirmation and validation while you're in the process. Example number 3 is Ben Kaufman, the Camp Mophie. This is a recent retail tech pivot. Kaufman built products in a crowded electronics market. He filed patents early on in his battery case integrations. You may have heard of this company called Zag. Zag bought his company, Mophie. Ben Kaufman doubted. He wasn't sure customers were going to buy his product and be willing to pay a premium for it. So he got the patent filed and then tested the retail channels. And voila, the market was willing to pay. There's a lot of flexibility in those bricks that we carry around in our pockets that we all walk around with. People want premium battery products. And his sort of hunches were wrong, that people do want to pay a lot of money for high quality batteries for their phone. So you can't predict what the market is going to know, right? You can't really know exactly what the market will bear until you offer it for sale. So I encourage each and every one of you to not lose hope, to not think that no one will ever want to buy your product until you prove it. So let's get started, roll up our sleeves, and get to work. I encourage everyone to have an awesome day today. Go big, go bold.